President Trump today trying to stoke conflict between House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and 4 minority liberal congresswomen. Tweeting, "Go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came." Mr. Trump added, "So interesting to see progressive Democrat congresswomen who originally came from countries whose governments are a complete and total catastrophe." The president has singled out one of the women, Miss Omar, before. She's from Somalia, the only one of the 4 congresswomen born outside the United States.
I'm looking at this Omar from Minnesota. She shouldn't even be in office.
Speaker Pelosi today denounced Mr. Trump's tweets as xenophobic comments meant to divide our nation, while Omar accused the president of stoking white nationalism because you are angry that people like us are serving in Congress. Other House Democrats, including the Assistant House Speaker, rallying to their colleagues' defense.
That's a racist tweet.
So joining us now from the White House is Paula Reed. Paula, aside from all of this, we are also learning that the Trump administration is readying a new rule for asylum claims at the southern border. What can you tell us about that?
And Marie, this rule introduced this morning would effectively end asylum protections for migrants coming up from Central America seeking asylum in the U.S. Under this new rule, any migrants coming up from Central America through the southern border would have to have sought asylum in one of the other countries they passed through in order to be eligible here in the U.S. Now, this is supposed to go into effect tomorrow. And Anne-Marie, this new rule would even apply to children who have crossed the border alone.
So are there any exceptions? I mean, what if you make it all the way to the border and you have a legitimate claim of asylum? They would just turn you around?
If you had not already sought asylum in one of the other countries that you had passed through, yes, but they have carved out some exceptions.
A string of public protests, media revelations, and pressure from within his own party led to Jacob Zuma's resignation as president. Now 18 months out of office, Zuma continues to fight allegations of corruption, many of them linked to his relationship with the Gupta family. The Guptas are accused of using their relationship with Zuma to influence government policy and win lucrative state contracts for its businesses. While Zuma and the Guptas deny any wrongdoing, the former president is expected to make his first appearance at an inquiry into corruption.
So Zuma is really, you're not going to see his direct fingerprints on a lot of things. You know, a lot of the corruption that happened was happening inside state-owned entities. So it would happen under CEOs, CFOs that had effectively been appointed by him, you know, by the ministers that he had appointed.
Outrage across Israel after the country's education minister, Rafi Peretz, endorsed so-called gay conversion therapy. This was the exchange Saturday that sparked furor.
Do you believe you can convert people through this therapy?
I believe it is possible. I believe it is possible.
Yes?
I can tell you that I have a very deep familiarity with the education topic. I have also performed it.
Peretz is an Orthodox rabbi and head of the ultra-nationalist Jewish Home Party. He became education minister last month, following tumultuous elections in April. Condemnation of his comments has come from across the political spectrum, including from his fellow members of government. In a tweet, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the education minister's comments unacceptable and said they don't represent the government's position.
India's wait for second moon mission is set to get longer. Chandrayaan-2 was called off less than an hour before its scheduled launch from the Satish Dhawan Research Center in Andhra Pradesh's Sriharikota because of a technical snag. Exactly 56 minutes before the launch, the countdown clock was stopped and was followed by a statement from ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, said that a technical snag in the launch vehicle system led to Chandrayaan-2's launch being postponed. ISRO also confirmed that the new launch date for the moon mission will be announced soon.
我哋嚟到當然咧就係感謝
We are deeply grateful to the police who put their lives on the line and keep Hong Kong safe. They work very hard with professionalism and restraint, but were attacked by the rioters, as you can see from the TV news, which is shocking. I'm here to strongly condemn these thugs who attack our police. Our society will not tolerate these acts of violence. I'm here also to call for all Hong Kong residents to respect the rule of law and support the police so that we can live in a safe city. We all continue to support the police in investigating criminal acts.
The violence took place in the Sha Tin area after a protest against the suspended Fugitive Offenders Bill. 22 people were injured, 3 of them seriously. Hong Kong's Secretary for Security said the violence included throwing bricks and umbrellas and spraying toxic liquid at the police.
It's been 3 days since Cheryl Powell's husband says he last saw his wife at a remote campsite in the Bristol Cone Pine Forest in Central California.
If she had an injury, if she would have fallen, if she would have bumped her head, we would have found her by now.
Crews from multiple agencies are combing the rugged terrain from the ground and the air. The missing woman's children joining their father and authorities in the search, desperate for answers.
They questioned some people in the area and they got some gas station footage, but I just don't know what else is being done from that standpoint.
Powell's husband of 40 years, Joseph, says both his wife and their dog Miley disappeared while he was turning their Jeep around to set up camp for the weekend.
I was gone no more between 5 to 7 minutes, and I came back over here and she was gone.
South Korean officials from the presidential office and the foreign ministry made their way to the U.S. last week to speak with their U.S. counterparts about Seoul's ongoing trade spat with Tokyo. South Korea asked for Washington's engagement to prevent tensions from further escalating, and the U.S. responded it will look for a role. Our Oh Jung-hee has the details.
With South Korea-Japan relations souring over Tokyo's decision to curb exports of high-tech materials to Seoul, South Korea is seeking Washington's engagement to prevent tensions from escalating further. A senior foreign ministry official spoke to reporters on Monday on the condition of anonymity. He said a team of 5 diplomats visited Washington last week, led by Deputy Minister for Economic Affairs Yoon Kang-hyun.